Hi everybody, this is Brenden here at Common Motor. That's common-motor.com on the internet. We're in the midst of working on we're filming the video for our engine inspection, finding a used engine and putting it in the bike. And so happens that in looking at this engine, we're pulling all the sludge out of around the clutch area, and it looks like we're going to have to do a clutch rebuild on it. I don't know what we're going to find yet, but there's just enough indicators that say, hey, I need to maybe take a look at the clutch and see what's going on in here. So we're going to take it apart, get it cleaned, go on the bench and show you how to put it all together. And if your bike isn't a 550, make sure you follow your service manual on taking it apart. All these clutches have a very similar architecture to them, so that this assembly is going to be relatively similar regardless of what model bike you have. Just pay attention to the number of disc plates and the order of like snap rings and washers and things like that. That order and sequence of things will be really important in taking this one apart. So I'll go ahead and get this one torn apart, cleaned, and then we'll go on the bench and show you what we may find in the clutch. But I have a feeling that the discs in here are probably pretty toasted. So we took everything apart here on the clutch, and we started inspecting what we got. We cleaned everything in the parts washer, our drum, our basket, pretty much all the pieces. And what I have here is some brand new clutch discs and springs, and I cleaned up the steels. I'm going to show you guys on the camera how worn out these clutch discs were. I don't know if you guys can see that well. There's almost no friction material left on some of these friction plates here. Like this one is just virtually bald. So my guess is that someone ran this bike with the clutch kind of like adjusted too tight, the cable adjusted tight, and it was kind of slipping part of the time because some of these are cooked and some of these are not. We've also found a good bit of like sludge in the engine, which is basically worn out friction material. So we're going to put in a new friction disc in the clutch, and along with that, in between the friction disc, we have the steels, and that's the steel. That's what they look like when they came out of the motor here. And I wasn't sure they were bad all the way. They're definitely, you see how it's dark on here, they're glazed, meaning they just gotten hot, and the friction material from the disc has really rubbed off on the steels here. And so what I ended up doing was I took these like that and I cleaned them up. I happen to do this in the bead blaster, but you could do it with some sandpaper on a flat surface and get them sanded nice and clean. Like doing a brake rotor, you're just trying to get that glaze off the surface and get back to some raw metal. And they cleaned up really well for the most part. I got to do the other one still, but I wanted to show you guys what came out. There's our compare and contrast right there of the glazed steel and then the cleaned up steel. Generally the steels are reusable. The only way they would be not reusable, and I thought this might be the case, is I'm going to go over here to the stone. This is just a flat piece of granite, and if they're warped at all, and you can get a feeler gauge underneath them really easily. I'm just kind of pushing down on it lightly. The feeler gauge doesn't really want to get under there, so that tells me that it's pretty flat. I'm kind of pushing on it. I don't feel it like rocking at all. Flip it over, do the same thing. I don't feel it rock or move at all. So they looked worse than they really were. So these are going to be good to go back in. But they were kind of borderline. Had this clutch been run some more, we probably would have cooked these even more, and they would have not been reusable. So I'm glad that they cleaned up okay. Let me go blast that one, and then we'll actually go ahead and assemble the clutch. All right, so the 550 clutch is going to be a little different than like a 360 or 450 clutch, 350 clutch, that we're able to do it off the bike pretty easily. Same methodology applies. All these clutches have the same architecture to them, roughly, and just pay mind with your discs Some of the friction discs do have like the teeth are different sizes for different positions on here. They have one of those where it's supposed to go in a particular location. Also on your steels, they should all be identical, but some bikes have one steel that's a little different. That'll be the very first one in the basket. Again, you should just pay attention to all the parts as you take them apart and make sure you have them in an order. If something looks a little different going back together. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of motor oil here, put it in my pan, like that. I'm gonna take my first disc and just let it sit in there for a minute. Take my clutch disc, flip it over. The key with any of these clutches, they have to go together wet. So you have to soak the friction disc in some oil before you put them on. In this case, the friction disc goes on first, then the steel, then friction disc, steel, and they alternate back and forth. So I'll just take that one out. I'll just stick it on right there. Take my steel. These don't have a particular spot to line up in. They just drop on and go. Let that soak. Get all nice and wet there. Dirt out of that. All right, our last friction disc on this particular engine. It is the outermost disc, and what I've tried to do is keep the teeth semi-aligned. Putting this all together. Here is our cover here with a little bit of oil on that as well. I know that this happens to have this little spacer shim right there. Now comes the fun part. I take this assembly. Hopefully we can line up all these pieces. There we go. Just like that. Cool. Take some of my oil and just make sure I oil up this shaft and splines. Same thing here with my gear. Sure, I just use up that oil there. Get that all nice and lubricated. There it goes. Hey, it lines up on the shaft, lines up with the gear. There should be a groove here for getting the snap ring on. There it goes. Got some new springs. They just slide onto the post here. This is our plunger type assembly here. A little bit of oil on that right there. This is a bit different from the 350s and the 450s and stuff, but same general idea. Have these bolts, you kind of have to get them just all barely started. And then I'm just going to snug them by hand. They don't actually have a crazy torque value. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure not to over torque them because you can break the posts that the springs sit on. So they don't have to be crazy tight. They just got to be snug down because they're under constant spring pressure from here on out. So, all right, clutch is installed. And this one, the last piece is going to be this little push rod here. I'm just going to put some oil on it. Both sides. It happens to sit right there on this engine. So that's it. Clutch is assembled and rebuilt. Okay, our clutch is assembled and back on the bike and ready to go. And we'll go ahead and finish buttoning up the bike here on the other video. But that's it. You know, clutch discs were toasted, and I'm glad we actually stopped and inspected and rebuilt this clutch. Otherwise, the situation would have gotten worse. Regardless of the type of bike you have, whether it's one of the old Hondas we support or even a bike from a different brand, the clutch architecture in motorcycles is very similar to this. So you're going to run into the same kind of things. Just keep an eye out for number of plates, number of discs, order of plates and discs, things like that, and it should go back together relatively easy. So make sure you pay attention when you take it all apart. This is Brenden with Common Motor. It's common-motor.com on the internet. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to us right here on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, and also subscribe to our newsletter via our website. We'll catch you next time.